Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar for tonight. I'm Sean McCusker from EdTech Teacher. Tonight, our topic is Elevating Student Voice with Book Creator, Creating Equity Through Accessibility. So consider this. Imagine if the idea of taking what we write and making it accessible to everyone who's going to consume it was as important as proofreading, as important as any other part of the writing process, right? What if we made that a part of the creation process? So keep that in mind and consider that for just a second, because as we go through tonight, the beauty of the tool that we're talking about, Book Creator, is that it is designed to do exactly that, to allow those who are consuming books to have the tools that they need in order to consume the material that's there, but also to give a broader voice to people by taking the story that you have to tell and making it something that everyone can access, right? So that's going to be our focus for tonight. Welcome again to our Spring Renewal webinars. I'll be sharing a lot of resources tonight. If you haven't already done so, go and check out some of the webinars that are coming up in the next week, few days. There's a lot there for you. All right, really quickly then, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for you, and we'll dive into Book Creator. All right. All right, so here we go. I'm going to drop the link to this deck into the chat. Here we go. Okay. Ta-da. There you go. Thanks everyone for being here with us. I'm really excited to have you all here. So a little bit about me. I'm Sean McCusker. I work with EdTech Teacher. I've been with them for a very long time. I am currently the author of a book called Becoming Active Citizens on Reforming Civic Education Across America. It is and has just been shared with us that it's been nominated for a Book of the Year as a finalist in the category of education by the Forward Indies Book Review Organization. So I'm excited about that. I've been a teacher in schools for 25 years as a teacher and administrator. I focused on alternative night school, and my specialty was co-taught full inclusion. So building into my lessons ways that all different types of students could overcome challenges, better process information, and better share their stories is something that I've been doing for a long time. Okay. Going on from there, let's go ahead and check out the challenge. So in communicating, in having students write, students with varying abilities need the ability to express themselves better and communicate more effectively with their audience. So what can we do to do that? In class, we do that by having them practice what they write. In class, we do that by having them write and rewrite. But some students have challenges that make the written language challenging. So the tools that we can have that allow them to record their voice or text to speech are pretty important. But also there's barriers that exist for people to access what we write. And knowing that and teaching our students that can allow them to very quickly, without a lot of extra time, to add hurdles or supports to overcome those hurdles when people are accessing a book. Right? And while we might be tempted to look at those accessories that we feature as extras, I think we really need to retool what we're doing, and we need to ask ourselves, like, aren't they essential to what we're doing? Right? In the same way that we wouldn't build a facility that's exclusive to certain people, let's build resources that aren't exclusive to with people with certain type of learning. Okay. So in the chat, if you're here for me, if you can go ahead and drop in, what are some of the barriers to learning that you've had to overcome? Okay. What types of things have you yourself had to overcome in order to be a better learner? I'll give you a couple seconds if you want to drop that in the chat. And for those of you who are watching later, go ahead and leave a comment for us on what those are to keep the conversation going, even asynchronously. I think for me, if I'm going to share, the hardest thing was all the sitting still. If a lesson had something to do with movement, I wanted to do that, right? And because of that, when it came time to doing activities, just allowing me to stand up and work was something that really helped me to do a little bit better. It's just the part of the way that I work. But I'm also better if I hear things. If I listen to someone say something, I'll remember it forever. So I'm a huge fan of audiobooks. I'm a huge fan of, listening to videos about different things that I need to learn while I'm doing it. So how can we build supports like that into the work that we're actually doing? So the solutions that we're going to suggest for you today is this. So one, be aware of this, the equitable tools that empower storytellers, right? We can create equity through accessibility. Imagine a book that, despite what kind of learner you are, you have accessibility, you have the ability to access that, okay? Next, those accessibility tools will engage more readers. It'll be a more engaging process. So rather than a process of just looking, there are different ways that they can interact with the text through audio, through video, and a variety of different tools that we're going to show you. Okay. But it's not, I think it's a little bit more challenging to get those tools all in one place on a table where we can use them than it is to convince people that we need them, right? It's just which platforms have them all. And so I think that the first thing we have to do is look at Book Creator as an environment. So in order to help us tonight, what I've done is this. I've created a companion book. Using Book Creator, I created this companion book. And if you click on this image on the deck that I just shared with you, you can copy it. And if you open it up, you'll see that the companion book, right, will allow you to read. You can remix this book. So if you look on this page and you click remix, you can make a copy of this book. And the reason that's important is because beyond just the things that I'll be teaching you and the skills, I've added an extra page to the entire book so that as you go through it, if you want to remix it, there's workspace for you to practice using each of the tools that I'm going to demonstrate tonight. So in addition to the fact that we're going to teach you to do it, you can have your own activity book with a walkthrough that explains it and the ability to create it right there. So I hope you'll take me up on that and practice this as we go along, because as much for teaching materials as it is for student created products, Book Creator is an amazing environment for making learning happen. All right. So as it begins, Book Creator and environment, what I'm going to share with you tonight is literally just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to go through some of the tools that meant the most to me that I, as a teacher, would have regularly used to overcome challenges for students. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a resource where you can find all the updates for accessibility within the entire Book Creator platform. All right, let's kick things off, shall we? Book Creator is an environment. Let's start with the first school or the first trick that you can learn within Book Creator. So Book Creator has embedded multilingual text-to-speech. When you go to add text into your Book Creator book, you'll go ahead and click this plus right at the top of the screen, which I'll demo in a second. And it's going to bring up this text box. And you can type text into that if you want to. But you can also use audio, like you can speak to it and it will take that text and add it. Okay. And then once you've done that, if you choose to, if you have a student who's speaking a different language, if you're trying to encode a different language, above that page, when you click on that microphone, is going to appear all of the languages that you can use so that the text translates it exactly right. It makes it very, very simple to put text in other languages within your book. Whether you're doing that to accommodate a spoken word to avoid having to type, or whether you're doing that to incorporate multiple languages, that's going to, again, broaden the base of people who can consume the book that you're working on. All right, let's take a look at that. We're going to go over to my books. I'm going to click into my Book Creator Equitable Learning example book that I created for you. All right. And here is my multilingual text-to-speech. So what I'll do is on this blank page, I'm going to go ahead and click the plus, and then I'm going to scroll down here to where it says text. When I click on text, here comes that box I told you about. And we could type text in if we wanted to. But what we're going to demonstrate here is this feature that adds another ability. I can click on the microphone. And once I start doing that, it will start transcribing what I say. All right. I can do that. But I'm going to discard those changes because what I want to show you is the language feature that goes along with it. So I'll click on the microphone. I can choose a language. Oops, let me choose the language before I start talking. Here we go. Text, microphone. Hola, me llamo Sean. Y yo hablo español un poquito. And other than that, it's Joan. Now, once I do this, I can turn off that text. I can edit what's here. So it heard my name a little bit wrong. So I can just type in here, Sean, and I can edit it too. So now I've had that, it's translated. It's going to put in all of the features of the Spanish language and it's going to look authentic. I hit done. And now I've got that I just added using my voice without typing. Okay, so that's how you could employ multilingual text to speech or just text to speech in general. If you've never used it before, it's a great tool for you to help students. And honestly, I think it goes faster for students when they can speak. And it's a way to practice if you're teaching languages for students. All right, next feature within Book Creator that will help you is audio transcripts. So Book Creator is going to make it easy for you to add audio to any of your books. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click that plus where I started before. And when you add audio, you'll come back, click on the audio, and then you'll click the inspector button. This is the I. You've added the audio, you've clicked the inspector button, and now it will give you this option to add a transcript. When you do that, it will give you a chance to choose the language that it's translating into or that it's adding the transcript using, which will clarify and make it more accurate. And then once you're done, it'll take a second, but it's going to bring up the text of what you had written and you'll be able to see it. Okay. So it looks a little bit like this. If I want to go to this book, I can go ahead and add audio. When I click start recording, it gives me a countdown. Here is how I add audio to a page in Book Creator. When I stop, it'll allow me to listen to it. Okay, and then click use recording. Now I've got the audio into my book, but I'm going to go up and I'm going to click on the inspector. And up in the corner with this inspector feature, which, by the way, with Book Creator, I like the inspector feature because it's not all the menus. When you click on something, then click the inspector, it gives you the menus specific to what you can do. So it's always focused specifically on the tools that you can use in that instance, which simplifies the menu and makes it not distracting for students as well. So here, once I've clicked on the audio and clicked inspector, I see a button to add transcript, and I can click on that. Here's where I choose the language. Here's all the languages that you can choose from. I'm going to keep it on English from the United States and then hit generate automatically. It'll take a second. And at this point you can go on, but once you let it run through, the icon will appear that has the audio on it, but it will add another feature that will show you that there's a transcript available for that too, right? It's taking a second right here. We can hold off and see if it pops back. Otherwise, when I show you the next thing and show up, you'll see it. Okay. All right, we're going to come back and I'll show you that transcript before we transition to showing the next demonstration. All right. It's great for supporting parents who are trying to help their kids at home because they might need to be able to translate and use their language skills that way. It's great. It's a great way for you to make it so the student who might have audio processing issues is going to have supports as they listen to text that's happening. I like to add audio from this feature to instructions for kids' activities. So I've built lessons where the students will use Book Creator and then the audio is there. And now I have multiple means for them to read through. It's also helpful when I have special education support staff who can go in and have multiple modes for having the student go through the instructions. They work on that quite a bit as like a life skill. Okay. So the next thing we're going to look at is with videos, we can also add closed captions to videos. Adding closed captions to videos works by when you add audio to or a video to a particular page. Once you've put the video in, you can go back again to the inspector where all the good stuff is, and then click add captions. And then it will process like it did before. And when you come back and play the video will look a little bit like so. Hold on. That video is going to play. Oh, here we go. Let me show you in person. When you click the video, and the caption appears right over the video. All right, let me go to the other book where we're working. See here where that edit transcript is added and shown me the text. If I wanted to edit that, I can look now and edit it. I'm going to click done and notice that the text appears over the audio so that there is an indicator that that transcript is there. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do it with video. So I'm going to click. I'm going to go to camera. It's going to ask me if I want to. Oh, it's on the wrong camera, but we'll have to go back and figure that out. I can record the video. It'll count 1, 2, 3. Hi, this is how I add captions to video in Book Creator. So I'm going to go like that. I can click use the video. Once I've used the video, it takes a second to render. You can see that it's processing it. Okay. And as it's doing that, now once it's embedded, I can click on the video, go up to the inspector feature, and then you'll see this captions right here. Captions, add captions. And it's the exact same feature that we looked at before for the text. I'll click generate automatically. And then it takes about a minute to process that and add that to the book. When we come back and we hit play, it's going to lay that caption right over the top of the video, just like we showed. So in addition to listening to it, they could read through. If you're working with ELL students, it's going to help you a lot, because the way that you when you work with ELL students, the importance of adding a visual representation of the sounds that you hear to bring the written and the spoken word together is really, really important to help them build their skills, right? So now I can add a new caption, right? And it will play within the video once it's added. All right, let me go back here and I'll get back to our deck. All right. So that's how we've gone so far and done multilingual text-to-speech. We've added transcripts to audio that we've added to the book. And then we've added closed captions for videos. All right. The next skill that I want to show you is adding alternate text for images. This isn't just a caption below the picture. Adding alternate text to images is important beyond just as a simple support. It's because students who have visual impairments, visual challenges, will use screen readers. Screen readers, when they're processing a page, are going to read all of the written words, but then they're also going to read all of the hidden text that goes along with an image that's been added to a book that you're creating. So what you'll do is you'll add an image to a book. When you add that image to the book, you're going to click on the image that you've added, and then again, go up to the inspector tool. Once you've clicked on the inspector tool, it's going to bring up this possibility for you. You can hyperlink the image if you'd like to, or you can write accessibility under this accessibility box. You can add a description of an image. So here I wrote, it's an AI created image of a sunset in the style of the artist Magritte. And it's created here. So now a person who's going through it, they won't be able to see the image or maybe not see it clearly, but they will have a description so that they know what's being associated with that. It's a way for them to be more deeply engaged in the text when they don't have the visual means to do so. All right, so that's alternate text for images. So let's give that a shot. We're going to go ahead and click on adding an image. Hold on. Oops. Go to my next page. Get to a clear spot. We're going to go ahead and add an image, right? We can search for images here. So let's go ahead and pick an image of an artist. I'm going to pick, because I like it, Magritte. So I can choose an image and add it. The feature that allows students to search for images within Book Creator is pretty fantastic, because it means that they're not bouncing in and out of the tool and having to come back. It's a gated community where they can work and do all of the things that they need to do within that space. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out a little bit. It's taken a second to render. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the screen and hope that that kind of finishes that process. I think the Wi-Fi might be a little slow right now for some reason. There we go. And there's our picture. It just took a second. Now, once I have this image added here, I can click on the image to make sure that it's highlighted. You'll see, because the blue dots are all around the edge of it, and then go to the inspector. Once I come up here to the inspector, I can go down to accessibility, and here's where I can add that alternate text. Might be the name of the picture. It might be detailing it. A man sitting facing a building with symmetrical windows. If I had the title, I could link it if I wanted to, spell check it so that it's correct. And then once I've done that, it adds that text. And when a screen reader is going to process this page, whatever text I might also add here, it will read that text, then it will go on and it will read the image additional supportive text. As a rule, I don't know how many of you are still using blogs. If you're writing and publishing anything to the web, presume that someone is going to access it and need that text in order to take in what you're saying, right? And if our job is to communicate, if we're publishing something, we want the world to consume it. By what extent can we extend who is going to read it and be able to benefit from those ideas because you were able to add additional text? Okay. All right. So that's how we'll do it. I'm just going to run really quickly through. You'll add an image by clicking Add Images. Once you've done that, you'll click on the image, click the plus. Oops. Click the inspector, my bad. And when you've done that, you'll go down to accessibility and add the image, the information that you want to have additionally added to that page. All right. That's adding alternate text for images. So the next thing I want to do is look at the read to me feature and show you the control that you have over it. So once a person jumps into this book, they might want this whole book to be read to them. You can set up the read to me feature to go through the entire book, to read at a particular speed, to speak in a different language, to go faster or to go slower. And all of that is underneath the settings of the read to me feature, right? You can also set it to highlight words. I'm a huge fan of highlighting words for students who are dealing with regressive reading, eye tracking issues. It might be a physical eye challenge that they have, and that's going to help them work the muscles of their eye to follow. If they're ELL students and you have word tracking on, it allows them to move at the speed and again, do what I told you before, to attach the sounds of a word to the appearance of the word in print. And that's going to help a lot. It's also going to prevent a student who might have physical challenges from having to click on every button. It's going to run the videos for you. It's going to play the audio for you when you go through the book. So for example, if I go into this book and I go to the read to me feature,
closed captions for video.
I have it set really slow.
Play the video to
highlighting all the text. Then it plays the video automatically because I set it that way. All right. Once it's done with that, it'll go on and read the rest of the text that I have available for you. If you want to use that feature, you can always you can click on the settings next to the read to me feature, and then it's going to show you, do you want side-by-side pages? It's going to ask the voice that you want. Notice that you can choose a variety of different languages. Okay. And from those voices, you can also then choose to highlight words, as I did here. Here's where I turned on to play multimedia so that the videos and the audio is automatically going to play. And when I got to the end of the page, it will automatically turn to the next page and continue. If you felt like the language was too slow, I can speed that up a little bit right here by clicking on the speed. And then it will adjust exactly to what the students need, right? Oftentimes, we have students who might need this the book to be read a little bit faster because they're waiting on the words as they're being said. So that's a feature that you can use for students who might not have any kind of a learning challenge, but are just a faster learner. They can move quickly that way. All right. So that's using the read to me features of a book. And you use it just by clicking on read to me. All right, so we have about 5 more minutes, and I want to show you one other thing. Those are just a selection of some of the most easy to use, most common things that I would have used as a teacher in the classroom, right? And so I should say, I want to share this story. When I started off, and I first learned about Book Creator, I was at a conference and I was eating dinner with the people who had created Book Creator. And one of the creators said to me that the original purpose of the Book Creator platform was just to allow his child to be able to read books and create and communicate more effectively. And I've always felt that in this platform was like the caring heart of a parent trying to help their child succeed, except for everybody. And then I came back after several years of not using the tool. And as I was digging through it, the number of tools that allow students to express more clearly it's kind of immeasurable. So what Book Creator has is they have a accessibility hub. I'm going to throw that into the chat for you. Okay. If you really want to check out these features, I highly recommend that you go to the Book Creator Accessibility Hub. If you click on that, it looks like this. Hold on, I have it down here. All right. And in the Accessibility Hub is everything that they've added. So if you're using tools, or if you just haven't checked in a while, if it's been a while since you tried Book Creator out and you're going to go back and try it again, here is where I would go. You can click to all different types of these articles, read how to do them. They all have instructions, for instance, adding alternate text to images. You'll see that there's tutorials there for you, different varieties of how to use it, what it looks like on the web. This is all web-based. Remember, there's also the iPad app that you can use, and it has similar interface that's going to make it easy for students to communicate. But there's so much support for each of these tools. I promise you, if you haven't looked, you should go back and check it out because there's been more added. All right. Just the amount of languages that's been included in the translation feature is pretty impressive, considering, you know, what we have here is supposed to be a book creator tool that's beyond that. It's a learning platform. It's a learning environment where it's not just that we or the students can create accessibility for others, but that others can like make the materials that are presented to them in this place more accessible, more likely for them to succeed, and make them engage more deeply in the content that you create here. All right. That's the Accessibility Hub. I want to share this to you. I'm going to challenge you to go ahead and get on Book Creator and build a book. If you've used it before, go try it out and see what's new and how simplified it is. It has as many features for creation as any other tool that you're going to see, but its simplified interface doesn't weigh you down, right? And the free features are still very extensive, but the subscription price is incredibly reasonable. It is a lot of ride for a very cheap ticket. So I'm going to drop this link into the chat. If you want to click on that, that's going to take you to Book Creator, where you can give it a whirl and try out all of the features that I showed you. I would challenge you to go make a copy of the book that I created for you, and then use those blank pages to remix the book and add each of the features so that when it's all said and done, you've worked through all those accessibility features, right? I'm going to end tonight because we only have a minute and a half. I want to make sure I get to this call to action. Use that link that I just gave you. It's also linked here at the end of our slide deck to go create something in Book Creator to see what this means for students and for learners who are going to be using this platform, okay? Also, there's a summer pass session that you can sign up for. The Book Creator team is going to come. And as much as I love Book Creator, the people who are working with them do a fantastic job of showing you creative ways to create learning experiences for students using these books. I'm going to click here, drop that registration link for our summer webinar session as part of our summer pass in there, right? And also, if you're interested in more of these things, if you want us to work with us in order to use Book Creator to make learning accessible for students, contact us, EdTech Teacher. We specialize in helping teachers to thrive and helping schools to succeed. So if there's a challenge and people are overwhelmed, we can come in and simplify that process of moving your professional learning forward. Like I said about our summer pass, we are now up to, it says here 12 workshops. We are up to 15 different workshops. We've added 3. There's a new AI one that was just added. So if you're interested in our summer pass, there's also a link right here. All right. Yes, John, you just threw into the chat. Was this recorded? I am recording this. The second I'm done, it will be available on YouTube. You'll be able to interact with all of the conversations, as well as access all of the links that I dropped in here. But John, in order to make sure that you're completely whole when this is all going on, I'm going to go over to the front of the deck, and I'm going to drop the deck into the chat so you definitely have it. All right. All right. And with that, that is our time. So thank you for the whirlwind of those features. Think of someone you know, a student you love and care about, who could have benefited and just shared their story. I'm a huge believer that the greatest way that we can help students is just to help them tell the story of their learning in their own voice, in their own way, in a style that allows them to communicate most effectively. For many, many students, Book Creator can be that tool. So thanks to the folks at Book Creator for helping me out and giving me the resources and the time to share this for you, right? If you think those are good tools, keep digging because there are so many more throughout. Okay. Join us for our summer workshop with Book Creator. Check out those links and feel free to come back to this video because there's you can watch it again and again if there's anything that you would love like another walkthrough on. All right. I can hang out for questions for just a few seconds. If you have any questions, drop them into the chat and I'll be happy to go back. If you want me to demonstrate something again, this is your chance. Take advantage. All right, everyone. Thank you. It's been great working with you. Look for more EdTech Teacher webinars coming up shortly. Thank you, everybody.